I understand, shifting gears a little bit from the asteroid mission to something that's near and dear to my district is the STEM education programs that you have at NASA. And I understand from the budget materials that there's been a reorganization and a consolidation of some of those priorities through the administration, and focusing on 4 priority areas and consolidating programs into 3 different agencies. So my question to you, sir, is there any thought on how this transition is going to, well, you can minimize the disruption to some of these programs that are extraordinarily popular and important to school children as young as kindergartners? In my district, there's a number of education programs that have been extraordinarily successful. I was at one recently in Sharon. There's about 1,200 students learning about space and STEM, training to be an astronaut. One of the high schools, the Tri-County High School in Franklin, was one of only 8 high schools in the country that were selected to participate in United with NASA to create a hardware program last year. Far more interesting science class than I ever took, building robots, trying to come up with ways for astronauts to scramble eggs in space, which I'm sure is probably something useful to you. So how can we ensure, General, that programs like these that are already highly successful and are inspiring an entirely new generation of engineers don't disappear?
Congressman, I would have to, in answering your question, I need to go back and tell you what I think is successful. When I became the NASA administrator, I asked for metrics. I'm not an engineer, but I play with a lot of them, and so I've learned to have an appreciation for metrics, to demonstrate that something is successful or valuable. When I asked what the metrics were on the effectiveness of our K-12 STEM education program, I got blank stares. I was told that we touch 1 million kids a year, and I said, okay, I got it. But what effect have we had on those 12 million kids? Did I take one who was not interested in science and have them, when they get to high school, take very difficult science and math courses and go to college and major in engineering? And the answer I got was, we don't know. And I said, well, how do we know we're effective? I feel good, you know, because I go out and talk to school kids all the time. I feel great. But have I made a difference in their life? And the only way I have to know that is metrics. The President and I happen to share this belief. And so what we're trying to do with the consolidation of the STEM education programs across the 13 or so STEM-related agencies in the government, and I see Congresswoman Edwards is smiling because she and I have talked about this at length. I think she shares my passion for metrics and demonstrating that we are effective in what we do. We are not able to demonstrate our effectiveness today. The President is tired of it, and so he has said, we're going to try something new. You know, when you try the same thing over and over and the same answer, it's not working. You ought to try something new. NASA is assuming a leadership role, if you will, in helping to craft this new consolidated STEM education program. And I would caution everyone, nothing is changing right now. We have a long time remaining in this fiscal year, so the programs in existence continue to go. In NASA, programs like MUREP, EPSCoR, Space Grant, all of the critical programs that we uniquely do that reach underrepresented minorities, tribal colleges and schools, those programs will remain even in the consolidated program. I don't do very well in being able to measure the effectiveness of my fellowships and scholarships. I'm told the National Science Foundation has a pretty good system. So we are going to work with them to help us identify the effectiveness of our fellowships and scholarships. I don't do well at all. I have no metrics for, well, I shouldn't say that. I don't do well with metrics for K through 12. I am told the Department of Education has a pretty good idea of how to establish those metrics. That's what we're working on to roll out effective the 2014 budget. So I think the kids that we're taking care of today will be taken care of, and my hope is we will be able to show you that we have an effect, not just tell you that I feel good because I touched 1 million kids.
Thank you.